What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday. It is the Late Night Agenda. As always, I'm your host Craig, and you are all very, very welcome along to tonight's stream. Last night, as you know, we had massive technical issues. I don't think it was just us either. I think there was a few channels that were having problems. So fingers crossed, we're all right. We're all good to go today. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I hope life's treating you well. I hope the sun's shining, the birds are singing, and all the usual stuff that I start off the streams with. I'm so nervously looking at the stream health now as I start here, trying to make sure that everything's alright. How are we, everybody? I hope you're all keeping well. Lots and lots for us to get through. And I do mean lots. I mean, my list of notes tonight is quite long. But firstly, just to start off tonight, I have a little friend that just wants to say a little quick hello to you. Oh, yeah! What, did somebody say 6 times? Did somebody say 6 times champions of motherfucking Europe? So somebody said 6 times, baby. 6 times. Massive shout out to J&S Trophies, who I purchased this little baby from. Yes, so that's going to be just making loads of rounds in our videos now, because I need a fucking, quite frankly, I need a reason to use it. And I swore to my wife that there would be a reason, but yeah. 6, did somebody say 6? So look, as I said, massive shout out to J&S Trophies, who made that beautiful trophy. You can find them on Twitter, you can find them on Facebook, you can find them on Instagram. Just search J&S Trophies. I'm not gonna lie, when that came today, I was like walking around the sitting room doing the full-on Hendo shuffle, raising it above my head. Lucas came in from school, he was raising it above his head. I think the missus has probably done it on the QT when I haven't been in the room. She's just pretending, she's not really fussed about it, but I know deep down she wants that trophy. I know she does. Right, look, ladies and gentlemen, how are we? Don't worry, I'll bring the trophy back in later on as well, because I need more reasons to hug that motherfucking trophy, because it's so damn beautiful. Right, where have we been, ladies and gents? Let's start off with a little bit of a good news story, shall we? Actually, do you know what? Let's start off with 2 good news stories today. Firstly, Daniel Surridge has been reunited with his dog, his little Pomeranian, and that's beautiful. I know he was very, very distressed yesterday, as we all would if a beloved family pet like that was stolen. Because let's not forget, his house was broken into there and some scumbag took property of his and his dog. Well, he's been reunited with his dog, so that's really, really good news for Daniel Sturridge. Delighted for him. Now we move on to the big story of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Although there are 2 stories, so I suppose it depends which one you think is the bigger one. Let's start off with the confirmed definitive good news, and that is that Divock Origi, the man with more inches than any other footballer known to the human race, has committed his long-term future to Liverpool Football Club by signing a contract extension. I've no idea at this moment in time how long that deal is for. I'd be lying if I said to you. We'll assume it's a minimum of 4 years. It usually is, possibly with a 5th or an option for a 5th, something like that. The club are always confident of getting this deal done for Divock Origi. And speaking about it, when he was asked what he hopes to achieve over the course of his new deal with the club, he said, "To keep progressing and trying to maximise the potential and talent I have each and every day. At the end of my career, I want to sit back and be proud that I used all of my gifts and talents. I think next year is going to be very special, prime years maybe, and I'm going to try and use them to the fullest." Look, we spoke about it before. It looked like Daniel Surridge, or not Daniel Surridge, I'm Sturridge on the brain now because of that dog. Divock Origi was going to sign that new deal. It's done. I want to know how you guys feel about it. I want to know your thoughts. He looked over the moon to be signing the contract. Wait, what have we got? Boy, I said absolute cunt to steal somebody's dog. Yes, mate. Scumbag behaviour of the highest order. Somebody to do that. Good to see Origi signed a new deal, said Pat Moynihan. Big Cock Divock, said Subi. I mean, do you know what I mean? I wonder. I know they showed him signing it with a pen, but do you know what I mean? I just wonder. Glad Origi's hanging around. He's been a clutch, said Darkness03. Paul said, I actually preferred last night. I like the live streams at times, but I want short videos at news. Perhaps you might be able to do both if you're able. Paul, it's like you read my mind. It's like you read my mind. Let me introduce you to a brand new section that I've already recorded tonight that will be going out later on, and it's called the Bite-Sized Agenda. What we're going to do is, before I start the nightly stream, I have my notes done out, so I know the 6, 7, 8 topics maybe we're going to talk about. So what I'm going to start doing is, I'm going to record a 10 to 12 minute version that will go out after the live stream, so it's there for people that are coming in that can't make the live stream, or that quite frankly haven't got an hour and 40 minutes to sit through and interact and have a chat with us. So we've taken your advice on board. As I said, I've already recorded that one for tonight, so that will be going up after this live stream. But you can be assured now going forward that Any day we're doing a live stream, you'll get the bite-sized agenda, which will be a 10-15 minute, probably more 10 to 12 minutes of the topics that we're going to talk about through the show. So we have listened. It is your channel, as we've always said. We want to take your advice on board. It's a bit of a gamble from our behalf because we built this channel off the back of live interactive streams, and the reason why we're putting out the news bulletin after the live streams are because we like the streams, we like having people in, we like having people interact, and we're willing to sacrifice perhaps the numbers of the later views of the stream to make sure that people, if they're so inclined, can get that short news story. But I hope it's something you guys are happy with. It's something that only really came into my mind. You guys have been saying it to me for ages, and then last night when we had those technical issues, I just went, oh, that makes sense. Let me just do this now, and then I can do this every day. It's not a big issue for me to do an extra 10 or 15 minutes, so we're going to put that out there. I hope you guys like it. I still want to see you on here because I love having you guys on the live streams, and they're going to continue. Before anybody asks as well, we are doing a watch along of the Tranmere game tomorrow. Game starts at 7:30, so we'll probably kick off at about 7:15 on here, something like that. So I hope you can join us for that one as well. Also, as you can see from the numbers in the upper, I don't know which corner of your screen it is, but let's say that corner there. Yeah, there we go. We're heading towards 18k. We're only 63 subscribers away from 18k. So if you're watching, if you're enjoying the streams, please do hit that subscribe button. Yeah, I'd love to ring that bell for the next 1,000 subscribers. It's an imaginary bell. It's one that's in my head, but I promise you I will ring it when we get there. What else we got? Good news with Origi signing a new contract, said John Cable. Divock Origi is progressing and I'm proud, said Liverpool Football Club. Bowes drew against cocky Chelsea, said the Irishman. Wasn't that Frankie's first game? Frank Lampard's first game in charge? Look, you can't judge a man from that, from a friendly against Bowes. But look, it is the start of the Frank Lampard reign at Chelsea, so it'll be interesting to see how that one works out. Will we show the game live? No, mate. We can't show any match footage. It's against copyright and will be taken down. The channel will be closed. How do you watch the game on TV? It's on LFC TV, mate. They're showing all the pre-season games. Now, I'm not sure which part of the world you're watching in, but I know in Ireland here it's about, I think it was 7 or 8 quid a month, something like that for Liverpool TV or LFC TV. Subscribe and hit the like button, folks, or support Everton, said Stephen Richards. Talk about Asensio. It's next on my list, Andres. Don't worry, I do have it there for you to talk about, buddy. I just want to go through a few more Origi comments, mate, and then I promise you I'll move on to talking about Asensio. John Cable said, Craig, seeing that top reminds me, last night your Barcelona reaction video popped up in my recommendations. Heard about the moves, only saw them with my own eyes. I'm scared for life now. I don't know what to say to you, John, mate. Sorry. If we ever get into situations like that again, probably going to be more moves, mate. I'm not going to lie. I like to celebrate and I like to... Do you know what? Fuck this, mate. This needs to be in here with me. This bastard needs to... I'm hanging on to this for a few minutes because I just feel naked. I feel like I should be holding this European trophy here during this stream for a while. And how are you, sir? You alright? You're looking well. It's nice to finally meet you. Oh, 6, you say? Where are the other 5? I couldn't afford them, mate. But look, say hello. Say hello to El Big Ears. We'll just leave you resting here beside me, mate, because you deserve to. I know you guys can't see it, but I know it's there. And that's the most important thing. How are you, sir? Aren't you? You're only gorgeous. Anyway, as I said, we'll move on. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted by the beauty that's here beside me. Where's all Big Ears gone? Oh, it's here. Don't you worry about that. Why does Leicester City FC's pre-season start so much later than everybody else's? I don't know, Anthony. Ours is starting later this year because obviously the season for us went 3 weeks later than most other people's seasons because, you know, that little reason that we won the 6th one of these motherfuckers right here, my friend, because you know, you had to go and do a job on Spurs. Just call it 60, said Stephen Richards. Cuddle the cup, mate. Cuddling. I'm thinking all I'm short of doing at this moment in time is saying to my wife, love, you know what I mean, like there's only room in the bed for 2 of us here, and you've had plenty of nights, and now it's time for old 60 here to say in and cuddle up and say goodnight. How much was the trophy, if you don't mind me asking? They are £275 from J&S, mate, and there's different sizes. This is the half size one, and then there's a full size one, and I believe that is priced at £595. Now, you probably think it's expensive, I get you, but I promise you, This is a very heavy trophy that is made very, very well. And when it came today, I was really pleasantly surprised. I was expecting good quality, but I was pleasantly surprised at just how sexy it is. If I'm being honest, it is delicious. What else have we got? Chelsea drew up Bohemians. Yep, I heard that one. What did I name the trophy? I think, what did we call it? 60? It has to be 60, something along those lines. Look, let me move on to Asensio, because people did say talk about Asensio, and I like to do what you guys ask. So Liverpool are apparently ready to pay £67 million for Real Madrid star Marco Asensio, and that's according to El Desmarque. I believe that's how you pronounce them anyway. The Echo mentioned in their report that they claim Jurgen Klopp very much likes the player, and the arrival of Hazard at Madrid will most likely impact on his chances to play. Now, just to clear up, when I say the Echo mention, I mean this was printed in the Echo's rumour section. I'm not saying that the Echo very much claim Jurgen Klopp has an interest in the player. El Desmarque, I believe they're called, say that Jurgen Klopp has an interest in the player. Asensio, somebody who, if I remember correctly, we've been linked to for at least 3 transfer windows. £67 million seems entirely more reasonable for me than the 85 million that was mentioned a week or so ago. What do you guys think? Marco Asensio, any truth to it? Now, I know you want to talk about Nicolas Pepe, and I promise you we'll move on to that straight after this as well. But let me know what you think about Marco Asensio. I don't see it personally, and I don't like these talks that Real Madrid seem to be having with everybody, where they either want a buyback clause or they want to just put out all their players on loan. And the reason I mentioned about the loan thing is because we spoke about Dani Ceballos as well, and Liverpool have been linked with Dani Ceballos, but I told you guys that it looked more likely that Spurs were going to be in for him. And Sky Sports today have confirmed that Spurs are definitely interested in signing Dani Ceballos from Real Madrid, but it seems like Real Madrid want this to be a loan for 1 year. I don't know about that now. If you're Spurs, I know Liverpool probably wouldn't entertain this. And we've known that, well, originally I thought that Spurs were going to have a buyback clause in there. So as if Real Madrid wanted to come in and get him, they could take him back. Again, I'll let you guys talk about these as a whole, I suppose, because they're 2 Real Madrid players. So Dani Ceballos seems like he's going to Spurs, possibly on loan. And then there's the links to Marco Asensio, which, as I always say, take with a massive pinch of salt. Let me know what you guys think anyway. Dani Ceballos off to Spurs, said Tafster. Mucho nonsensio, said Brian Morrissey. Asensio would be class under Jurgen Klopp, said Shea Trainer. Where's Asensio's best position? I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue where his best position is, but I'll tell you what, I guarantee you there's some very knowledgeable people in the chat that will be able to give you that exact answer. I am hugely anti-Real Madrid. I watch Real Madrid as little as humanly possible because I just don't like them as a football club, so I haven't seen much. I've only seen Asensio really at international level. Apart from that, I haven't really watched them. Darkness said, agreed, Asensio is better than Dembele. Sexy, says Shanzo the man. It is, be patient. We'll be together soon. Be patient. Should get Everton, said Bargy Pool FC. Yeah, it's he had a very, very good Copa America, mate. I'm not gonna lie, and he was very impressive. Is it Gremio that guy Everton? Is that how we're supposed to pronounce his name? Everton. I think it's Gremio that he plays for. I'd imagine that there's going to be a queue of clubs looking to try and sign him. He did have a very good tournament. Stephen Booker said, Craig, if we play a 4-3-3 like normal, where would Asensio play? We'd have to stick him on the right, where, in my opinion, he'd be ineffective. I'm not doubting his ability. He's very good, but I just can't see it. I suppose, Stephen, the answer probably is, mate, that I know you're sick of me saying this, but I don't think we can look at our team from a starting 11 perspective anymore. You need 5 or 6 forwards or attacking players, and maybe you rest one and you bring in him. Maybe you rest somebody else and you bring in Origi. I don't know, is the honest answer. I don't think that this deal is one that will be done, if I'm being blatantly honest with you. I think I've never heard of the crowd that made the original, what are they called, El Desmarque. Now, I'm not saying that they aren't legitimate. I'm just saying that I don't know anything about them. I've never looked at any of their work. I've never seen what they've published before. I just quite frankly don't know. Stephen Richards said, Depay, Craig, anything? Nothing. Absolutely nothing, mate. Not seen a thing on Memphis Depay. And I'm not just talking about Liverpool, I'm just saying anywhere. I've seen nothing on him. But in thinking about that, let's assume that maybe Nabil Fekir moves on somewhere this summer. Let's assume that, we know when Ndombele's gone to Spurs. Maybe Uar moves on somewhere else as well. Maybe Depay feels like hanging around Lyon where he would be the man. Maybe that suits him. I don't know. Maybe he wants to be... Well, actually, do you know what? From what I've read, he likes being the man. He likes being the centre of attention. And some players like that at clubs, and some players want to be a big fish in a small pond, whereas other players want to go and try and prove themselves at the very top level. I don't know about Memphis Depay. I don't know the guy. What else have we got? Asensio is class, a central attacking midfielder. I'm not even going to try and pronounce. We'll just call you GFX if that's alright, mate. I couldn't even try and pronounce all the letters at the start. I don't know what way the kids... I say the kids because I'm an old fogey at this point. I don't know what way you're supposed to shorten words and pronounce the X's and things and stuff like that. Did somebody just say Mane was injured? I don't think he is injured, no. He did finish the game for Senegal, if I remember correctly. He went down... He wanted to just get back up to his feet. They made him go off the pitch on a stretcher and then he went back on. But no, I don't think he is injured, Claire. And if he is, it will be very, 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 very minor. And I would say not even something that will make him miss the semi-final for Senegal. What else we got? That name can't be real. El Desmarque. It's spelled Desmarque, so it's pronounced with a sexy Spanish twang, I believe. But I'm a bald Irish idiot, so you won't be getting the sexy Spanish twang from me. Asensio and Mane can rotate. Origi, Brewster, Firmino rotate, and Shaqiri can rotate with Salah. Said Adam Parks. Krishna said front squad: Mane, Bobby, Salah with Origi, Brewster, and Shaqiri as backup if it's a little bit light. Some more news actually to give you guys. I've been telling you I'm trying to get people on to have chats. What I was chatting to Boya earlier on, and myself and Anthony are going to record a couple of segments together next Wednesday. So one of them I'll be keeping up until we're away. Well, I'm away on holidays, and the other one I'll put out probably the following day. Cash and Jace Roberts will be on Monday for a podcast as well. What else have we got coming up for you guys? Oh, we're working on something. Oh God, we're working on something. We're working on something with I would say a very big company. I think it's fair to say. We're still doing a little bit of negotiating and a little bit of I don't know what you want to call it, back and forth, but we're hoping that we're going to be able to say something in the next couple of weeks. So keep an eye on the channel. We're working on something. You know, we always want to try and bring you guys the best stuff that we can from companies that we like to work with and that we feel that the ethos of what they're doing kind of works in with what we're doing. So anyway, I can't give too much away, but keep an eye out. We're in talks, put it that way. Asensio's a midfielder, said amusing assassin. Liam Buchanan, or is it Liam Buchan or Buchan or I'm sorry, mate, I'm ruining your name here. Let's just call you Limo and just say sorry. Where's Liam's comment gone? I've now lost your comment, Liam. I mean, I should be just gone, mate. I should be firing myself here. Where is Liam's comment gone? Oh, mate, I feel like I owe Liam a massive apology here. Where the hell is his comment gone? Ah, there it is. Most recent deals we've done have been out of the blue, so we won't hear about it before it happens. Liverpool doesn't work like Manchester United. Sorry, Liam. I nearly ruined your comment there, mate. What else we got? Who Knew 22 said, so we've gone back to Asensio then after going through Depay, Pepe, Fekir, Fernandes, Dembele, Ceballos. Next week it'll be back to Fekir and whoever else is left on the transfer merry-go-round, mate. I don't write the articles, do you know what I mean? I just come on and talk. And thankfully from tomorrow we'll have football to talk about because the Reds are back in action. It looks like Simon Mignolet is going to be the goalkeeper, by the way, that might happen to come back in for pre-season earliest and get a game, because we frankly have nobody else available at the minute, and Mignolet looks like he's going to be in net tomorrow against Tranmere from what I've read today anyway. LFC 1892 said Asensio has good potential, but he's been a bit goal shy recently. Krishna, Spurs, Lucas Moura would best be suited to our style of playing with speed to burn. He's a good player. I prefer Son myself if we were just looking at Spurs players. Darkness said, are Timo Werner and Paulo Dybala still on the market? Timo Werner, yes. Paulo Dybala, well, he's not gone anywhere, but I don't know, with obviously the new manager gone in there to Juventus, I don't know whether Sarri has plans for Paulo Dybala. I'm sure he probably wants to keep him there. Werner, it's gone really, really, really quiet from every front. The only things that, as I said before, that I'd seen was that he's willing to wait for next year to go and join I was going to say Real Madrid again. I just assume everyone's joining Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. But again, we'll just have to wait and see. Roberto, how are you, sir? Great to see you. And maybe Roberto's the man there to let you know about Roberto being a massive Juventus fan about the Dybala situation. Davy Fisher said, are Liverpool's current centre-backs good enough, or should they move for somebody like Koulibaly? We're not going near Koulibaly, mate. I promise you that much. There's no way we're dropping 100 million on a centre-back. It's just not very us at the minute, to be fair. We went and got Van Dijk because Van Dijk was the one that the gaffer wanted. He waited for him. He got him. We probably paid a stupid bastard tax, as I like to call it, because of the stuff that went on beforehand with Southampton. But on the centre-back situation, it is something that I wanted to address a little bit tonight. So what seems as you brought it up. Dejan Lovren, if indeed he does move to AC Milan, and there's been mixed signals on this. Some outlets are saying that his representatives have been in talks with AC Milan and that there is a price Liverpool are willing to do business at. Others are saying that Jurgen Klopp wants to keep hold of Dejan Lovren and that we've no intention of selling him. Either way, like everything else in this transfer window, we're just going to have to wait and see. But we did speak about a possibility, if we were to sell Dejan Lovren, of looking at Toby Alderweireld, and we spoke about his release clause. Now, I'm not bringing this up to say that Liverpool are going after Toby Alderweireld. What I want to do is just give you a bit of information that I came across today that I genuinely didn't know about. So, Toby Alderweireld does indeed have a £25 million release clause this summer, but that expires on the 25th of July. So if anybody wants to trigger that £25 million clause, it has to be done so before July the 25th, or else they go and negotiate with Daniel Levy. And I don't know, best of luck with that one is all I'm saying if you're negotiating with Daniel Levy. But on the centre-back situation, the club seem to be very, very, very happy at having secured Sepp Berg. We spoke many times about the amount of clubs in Europe that wanted the kid. I'm not going to even pretend to be an expert on him. What I will say is, at the age that he is, he looks like a massive fella already. A couple of inches bigger than Jurgen Klopp. And what's Klopp supposed to be? 6'2", 6'4", something like that. So with him, with Kiana Hoover, we've another young, is it Arroyo or something like that? A young Colombian, I think, that is struggling to get a work permit as things stand. I think he might have to go on loan as well. So we do have options at centre-back. We've got 4 first choice ones, and then Kiana Hoover and Sepp Berg. So that's 6 available to play in 2 positions. So I don't see us going for Koulibaly anytime soon. And if we're talking about our centre-backs good enough, the answer has to be yes. Look at the improvements that we've made this season defensively. Look at the way we've shut up shop compared to the amount of goals that we've conceded previously. And look, of course, that's not just down to Virgil van Dijk. That's not just down to Joe Gomez or Joe Matip. It's down to the back 5 as a whole. It's down to the goalkeeper, the fullbacks, the coaching, everybody together. But I think we're quite solid defensively, if I'm being honest. Other than maybe a backup fullback, which I can understand people looking for, which again leads me back up to Mr. Firpo, somebody who we've spoken about many, many, many times on the stream. And I never get tired of saying his name. Junior Firpo was kind of fun to say. Sports Mole reckon that Liverpool have seriously looked at Junior Firpo from Real Betis, but are reluctant to pay the player's €50 million release clause. That being said, they do say that we've increased our interest and are regarded as the front runners to sign him. That's all I have on that. So over to you guys. See what you guys think about the centre back situation, the whole Junior Firpo stuff. Milan have been linked. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester City, actually, I'd seen linked with Firpo as well. So again, I'd love your thoughts on this. Liverpool have a better chance of getting Pepe than Asensio, said Ben Washbrook. Dybala will be perfect for Liverpool, can play in many positions, said Shanzo the man. Anything from Der Spiegel? No, it's gone all quiet, mate, on Der Spiegel. And you know I love to say Der Spiegel, so if there was anything from Der Spiegel, Stephen, I would inform you of the news that would be coming from Der Spiegel, mate. But no, as things stand, there's nothing. Asensio's a central attacking mid who often plays left wing, said Chandler Betts. I feel he's a player that can play anywhere across the front. Would be a decent signing. I'd rather get Asensio or Dembele rather than Pepe. I've been very honest about Pepe, ladies and gents. I haven't seen much of Nicolas Pepe. I'm always very weary of, can I use the phrase one season wonder? I'm probably being very, very harsh there. The French league as a whole makes me nervous unless I've seen players perform in Europe, and I haven't yet seen Pepe in Europe for Lille. But the Champions League will be taking place next year, and I think Lille are in it, aren't they? So whether Pepe be there or not, it's open to suggestion. Now, I've been saving the Nicolas Pepe news, or did I speak about it already? I can't remember. Did I talk about Pepe or not? I don't know, but we'll go back over it anyway. I couldn't remember if I talked about it in the news bulletin or if I spoke about it on tonight's show. Darkness said Shaqiri's out with a calf injury. Yes, that is true. He is out for an as yet unknown amount of time, from what Jurgen Klopp was saying yesterday. Any news on Neymar returning to PSG? Yes, he looks like he will be going back there soon enough. From what I've read, PSG are looking at finding him his bonus. The article I'd read suggested that, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but Neymar's wages are apparently just over £500,000 a week, and that he also has a bonus of £100,000 or something like that. So they're looking at potentially finding him his bonus. Now, he's saying that he didn't do anything wrong. PSG are saying that he reported back late. Either way, he's a little shit, and I think they want to sell him. Barcelona, it's getting very interesting around Barcelona. I don't know if you guys are following this. Some people are saying that Barcelona can't even afford the money for Antoine Griezmann, and that they're frantically running around banks trying to get the finance to make that deal happen. Again, I don't know if that's true or that's not true. It's just stuff that I'd read. But if it is even in the slightest bit true, what the hell are they going to do then to try and get Neymar? How are they going to afford Neymar? Because PSG have been open about saying that they're happy enough to sell him because he's been a bit of a diva over the past season in France. In Klopp we trust. Don't worry if you can't get in the Madrid team, said Spy on Cop Iron. 6 is sexy, said Shane Buckley. It certainly is, mate. It most definitely is. I enjoyed the video with you and Drifty. Hope you do more with him in the future, said Zafilio. Thank you, mate. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I enjoyed chatting with him. It's weird because I've heard mention of him obviously many times, and like other people I've said, I don't know the gentleman, it isn't fair to talk about it. Well, I got to know him a little bit on Twitter, but the conversation that you guys seen filmed was the first time we'd actually spoken, and I have to say he seemed like a very like-minded person to myself. I very much enjoyed our conversation, and like you said, Zafilio, I'd like to do some little bits and pieces going forward with him as well. I think the more you can reach out and the more channels do little bits together, the better. I spoke about a deal that we're working on with a company earlier on. We're also working on a few other little bits and pieces in the background to possibly try and extend the level of what we can bring to you guys. You wouldn't believe the amount of stuff that's been going on lately. I mean, it's been gone mental over the past couple of months, and I've been on the go since 9:30 this morning, the first phone call, and I've been just going through stuff all day, and I was still rushing to get on the stream tonight because it's been a really busy day. Would you do a chat with subscribers? Yes, Kev, we can certainly do that as well. We're probably going to try and start doing the phone-ins for the post-match shows in the new season. It's something we flirted with a little bit before, but I just don't think we had a big enough audience at the time, mate, to get a reliable flow of people to come on. Now, hopefully, with I've been over 17k, I'm hoping we'll be able to get some people on. But yeah, the technology is here. We can do that, no problem. Liverpool are looking to sign Harvey Elliott, said Warrington Train Spotter. I'd even go a step further than that, mate. I would say that that's a deal that is going to happen. He's a massive red, Harvey Elliott, which I suppose does help in these situations. And looking at a manager like Jurgen Klopp and what he's done to progress young players, yeah, you can see why he might choose the Reds. And I love when players choose the Reds, because I choose the Reds. You guys would all choose the Reds. Boy, I said can't wait for a conversation. Neither can I, Anthony. It feels like so long, mate, since we've had a chat. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to do 2 little sections, as I said, myself and Anthony, next Wednesday. One of them I'll put out rather quickly, and the other one I will hold off on until I'm on holidays, because I need to have content for you guys while I'm away. Also saw that China wanted to hire Mourinho as a coach for 100 million. I read something about that. Darkness, how mad is that? And it apparently turned it down as well. I'd also seen that Rafael Benitez was very complimentary about the owners and the management group of the club that he's now working with. He said he's spoken to them more times in the little period of time he's been there than he did Mike Ashley, which I think was another little part and shot at Mr. Ashley. And rightly so, by the way, because Rafa deserved better, as did Newcastle fans. Craig, what height are you, if you don't mind me asking? That's a that's probably one of the stranger questions. About 5'10", mate, something along those lines. Maybe 5'9.5", maybe 5'10.5". I don't know if I've shrunken over the last while, and it depends on what shoes I'm wearing, but something around 5'10". Is there any news on Harvey Elliott? Have we signed him yet? Not yet, but it is going to happen. Semedo and Coutinho plus cash for Neymar is what I've heard, said WD Red. It's so ironic, isn't it, that the one club that Coutinho turned down numerous times while at Liverpool to get his dream move to Barcelona could potentially be where he ends up. I'd also seen Dembele, mate, mentioned as a possible makeway. Mr. Roberts is in. How are we, Jace? Welcome. Boy, I said Leicester at 300 to 1 for the title. Better than the 5,000 to 1. Gonna put a quid on that one. Why not, mate? Why not? Doing some good business as well. I was really happy for you that you guys got Yuri Tielemans, actually, to be fair, because it would have been shitty for him to have done so well with you guys on loan and then gone somewhere else. Did I talk about the third kit getting leaked, anybody? Or did Craig talk about the third kit getting leaked? No, getting leaked. No, I haven't. So the third kit is the one that we all thought it was. There's been some promotional material that have been put out today, and somebody even said it was on sale in South Africa or something like that. But yeah, the third kit is the one that we had all seen the leaked pictures of. It's just a matter of when the club are going to release it at this point. It's a real Marmite kit for me. I've seen people that love it. I've seen people that hate it. I still don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'll probably buy it because I usually do buy the third kit, as you can see from the one I'm wearing. I usually buy the home and the third kits. I'll probably buy it, if I'm being honest. What do you guys think? For those that have seen it, do you like it? Is it something you're going to buy? I've heard it described loads of different ways, but as I said, it's a lot easier to see these things in the flesh and then make a judgment. Apparently Harvey Elliott is another one who's gone straight into the senior squad. Klopp doesn't mess about with giving younglings chances, does he? That's why they come, said Ishmael. Yeah, he's the youngest ever Premier League debutee or something like that. Well, he was still 15 years of age, I think, when he made his first appearance for Fulham, I believe. He needs to get rid of the man bun. I mean, unless, of course, he's an absolute superstar, in which case, like Virgil van Dijk, you can keep your man bun. What's new about Asensio? Close or nah? I would say nah, Cameron, but there was rumours that we put a bid in from. Jace, while you're in, I know you've probably been on Twitter, mate, and I've been chatting with Steve Hoare on there. I've been chatting with a few others. So there's mixed stories coming out about Nicolas Pepe, and that's where I wanted to go next, ladies and gents. Let me just check what numbers we have. So what have we got at the moment? 447 people watching. I hope you're enjoying the stream, and thank you very much for joining us. As you can see, we're 59, just 59 away from 18k. If you're enjoying the stream, you know what to do, ladies and gents. Please do hit that button. Right, Nicolas Pepe. Let's get on to this, because that's the big story of the day. There's been multiple reports suggesting multiple things about Nicolas Pepe. So earlier on today, when I started doing my research, I'd read that there'd been more reports linking Liverpool with a move for Nicolas Pepe, and one chancer on Twitter, and I say chancer because he's a chancer. It's not a person, like, it's not somebody I know. He's hiding behind some fake name. If you're on Twitter, you'll probably know who I'm talking about, and this will make more sense as I go on with the story. So this one particular chancer on Twitter, who claims a fee of £68 million has been agreed between the two clubs. Now, even for those who have said we're interested, even for the Mr. Bouffesi, the French football news, and the various other outlets in continental Europe that have suggested Liverpool have an interest in Nicolas Pepe, not one that I've seen, not one has suggested that a fee has been agreed between the clubs. Even the Lille president, when he was coming out, said that there'd be no contact, I think, directly with them as a club, although he did say he believed Liverpool had been in talks with his representatives. Now, we know that Melissa already have said that Michael Edwards had rang Lille to say that Liverpool have no interest, which, from an outsider's perspective, seems like a strange thing to do if you've no interest in somebody. But at the same time, I've always said I view Melissa Reddy as an excellent journalist, and I would never question somebody's integrity because I don't know the lady, and it wouldn't be fair of me to do so. But Dominic King has tweeted tonight, and it happened, which is why I wanted your opinion on this, Jace. It happened about maybe an hour and a bit ago. And I'm going to quote the tweet exactly so I won't misconstrue what he said. He said, also, worth categorically saying now that Liverpool have absolutely no interest in Nicolas Pepe. For all the stories coming from the continent, it's not a deal that will be happening. Now, there's a couple of trains of thought for this one. Have the English media been wrong and have they denied we've had interest in players before? Absolutely. It happened with Alisson. It's happened with previous players as well. The only thing that makes me really feel about this, that we may not have an interest, I just don't see why Melissa Reddy would go so far as to say that the club have told her that, or well, maybe she didn't say the club have told her, sorry, she knows that Liverpool have phoned Lille to say they've no interest. It's one thing coming out and saying you don't believe the club has an interest. I mean, a lot of journalists have done that and been wrong. It's just this. Maybe I'm being blinded here. Maybe I'm giving too much credit to the British journalists. I don't know. I try to take everything at face value, and I try not to judge anybody and just wait and see what happens, because these people are far more in tune with what's going on than us mere mortals, perhaps. So I want to get your thoughts on all things Nicolas Pepe. I want to get Mr. Roberts' thoughts, and of course I want to get all of your thoughts. Are we signing him? What do you think, realistically? One of the reports from, is it called Get French Football News or Get Football News France? I can never remember exactly what the account is called. They've said that the player himself wants to talk to the managers of all the clubs that are interested in him and won't make a decision till after the African Cup of Nations, because he does want to talk to the managers of the clubs. Now, there's a couple of trains of thoughts on this as well. Mine is that, I've said before, the phrase I keep using is, I want players who will crawl over broken glass to come and play for Liverpool Football Club. Now, people have pointed out to me, and rightly so, that Van Dijk spoke to other clubs, and various Alisson, right up until near the end, was apparently speaking to Real Madrid as well. So I get that point of view. But I would just think that Jurgen Klopp usually knows who he wants, and Virgil van Dijk was his man, Alisson Becker was his man, Naby Keita was his man, and come hell or high water, we got those deals done. What I'm wondering is, would Jurgen Klopp be willing to wait so late in a transfer window, not knowing 100% that the player wants to come here? I don't know. That's where I'm questioning this one. I can absolutely understand from a human perspective why a player, if he wasn't sure, would want to talk to the managers and see perhaps where he'd fit in their plans and whatnot, and what the club's plans are. I get that. At the same time, though, this isn't like a Van Dijk where we knew we were going to get him because we knew we were the club that he wanted. It's not even like, so far, like a Naby Keita deal where we were very clever about the way we went about that deal and we gave him back on loan for a year. So, look, I've given you my 2 cents on it. I want to know what you guys think. Dan Thomas said, so apparently we don't want Pepe. I don't know about that. This is getting annoying now, mate. Don't fucking take it out on me, pal. I'm not the one coming up with the headlines. I'm the one that's stuck in the middle here, trying to appease the people who say we are signing them, trying to be, piggy in the middle. I've no judgment either way. I'm just sitting back and waiting to see what happens. I hope we sign an attacking player. I think we need an attacking player. Who that is, I'll leave to Jurgen Klopp's judgment. Jars of peanut butter have reportedly sold out in the Salford area. Fair enough. We don't buy world class players, we make them world class, said Ronnie Flinter. What else have we got? Sorry, I'm just waiting for the chat to catch up. It does this all the time. It freezes and then jumps. Who do we bid for? Nobody that I'm fully aware of, Thomas. Fekir is only valued at like 40 million or something like that. So Jack Nolte, I don't think he's even valued that highly. I think you'll probably get him for around the 30 mark, maybe even a few quid cheaper. I'd give away my house to play for Liverpool, said Anthony Cronin. Isn't it your parents' house though, Anthony? I'm sure they probably wouldn't like you giving away their house. Chase Roberts said, firstly, Dominic Kim was the guy who reported and apparently deleted that Danny Ward was set to be our number 1 soon after we signed Alisson, and Ward ended up at Leicester. I thought somebody else mentioned, mate, that was Maddock. Now, I don't know, again, if that's true or not true, because there were a few people saying exactly what you've said, Jace, and I quite frankly, don't know and don't remember. So let's work off the assumption that you're absolutely spot on that one. Never a good look for a journalist to delete a tweet. I've blocked journals before for stuff like that from other countries who have pretended to. What's that guy's name who I think is a complete chancer? Mutaz Cheed. That guy, I think that's his name. For me, he's a fucking chancer. He's an out and out spoofer, and I've seen him delete numerous tweets. Who do you think Origi's going to take? What spot? Nobody's, mate. He's not going to take any spot. There's loads of games this season, possibly 70, and the front three won't be able to play them all, so everybody will get a game. I suppose everybody will get some minutes. The best journals are hit and miss, said Aidan. Yeah, look, I'm sure the club have briefed journalists to distract, shall we say, or to throw off pressure from the club. I'm sure it's happened. I'm not naive enough to think that doesn't happen. It's just, as I said, it's one thing saying you believe the club have no interest in a player, but it's quite another thing to go as far as to say the club phoned, or the other club to say no interest. That just would seem an unnecessary step for me if you're going to deny something. As a journalist, I mean. I take Fernandes over Pepe any day, said Eddie Clover. What have we got? Dan said, I was just saying, mate, I wasn't taking it. I wasn't having a dig at you, buddy. Don't worry about that. Have we completed the deal on that new kid that we're signing? Harvey Elliott? No, not yet. It will get done though. Don't worry about it. It'll definitely get done. Great shirt, bro. I've got it with Milner on the back. I've nothing on the back of this one, buddy. I've got the Champions League badges on it though. Although this one just says, just merely has 5 on it. Do you know what I mean? 5. And here's the 6th one. Here's the 6th one right here. I'm just going to use any excuse, quite frankly, now to bring this baby in. Look at that baby. Mwah! Beautiful. That's the 6th one. So I've got the 5 on here, and then that's the extra one. Any excuse to bring that trophy in. I'm going to move it back out of shot, just so you can't see it and I can. Craig, who's your favourite, or what's your favourite movie, or what's my favourite movie? I don't know if I have a favourite film. I'm not somebody who goes back and re-watches the same stuff really much, unless it's comedy shows, because they're only like 20 minutes long. What would be my favourite movie? Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. That's one of my favourites. The original Kings of Comedy, which is like a stand-up tour, if I can class that as a movie. That's one of my favourites. Cedric the Entertainer, Burley Mac, D.L. Hewley and Steve Harvey is brilliant. It's just comedy gold. Airplane, one of my favourites. Blazing Saddles, another one of my favourites. Yeah, basically I like comedies. Jack Nolte said, my realistic dream signing is probably Fekir. Adam Park said, Koulibaly reminds me of the Lukaku of centre-backs, big and clumsy. Do you know what? I always thought he was a little bit overhyped until our games against Napoli, mate, and he's class. He really is. Koulibaly is a top-notch defender. Boy, I'll talk to you really soon, mate. Right, so Jay said, I think we are interested in Pepe. It makes sense that our lack of transfer action coincides with the African Cup of Nations. I agree that we need players who want to play for us, but respect wanting to take time. I get you. I almost feel like I refuse to believe we're not going to sign a forward, because it would just seem very silly for me. I know it's easy for us all to sit around and play Football Manager and say we should go after X, Y and Z, but I think we could probably all agree that we're a little bit light in the attacking areas, whether that be an attacking mid, a wide player, backup, centre forward, whoever it might be. I would just like to see us add somebody there. And even the British-based journalists who've denied interest in Pepe have suggested that we could potentially look for somebody in that position. Gonad said, jib the cups and just play the under-23s and squad players, concentrate in the Premier League and the Champions League. We've done that for too many seasons, mate, and that's the whole point. Now that we've started to pick up trophies, you want to pick up as many as you can. And I mean, I do agree that the Premier League and the Champions League of course should be the priority, but nothing wrong with picking up a League Cup, an FA Cup, a World Club Championship, which you've never won before, European Super Cup, and that other thing that we're playing against Manchester City, the Community Shield or Charity Shield or whatever the fuck it's called these days. I mean, I'm happy for it because the money goes to good causes, but after that, from a games perspective, it's probably the one of the trophies we're playing for that I don't care about. Where did you buy that trophy, mate? I love it. From a company called J&S Trophies. If you're on Twitter, it's at JS_trophies. TROPHIES, and they're on Instagram and Facebook as well. Just search J and S Trophies, or at JS Trophies. I think they are on both of those sites. Well, there's a very good chance he comes in backup and rotation option. Jace is carrying on here with regards to Nicolas Pepe. If Klopp wants the player that much, I think he'd wait as long as he doesn't feel the piss is being taken. I suppose some of my, not resentment, but some of my holding back on this is that I don't know enough about Nicolas Pepe. If it was Fekir, if it was Coutinho, if it was Dembele, if it was Dybala, if it was even Ziyech, I would say I've seen enough to know if I believe it's a Klopp type player and if I believe he's worth waiting for. But I genuinely don't know about Nicolas Pepe, so I'm completely sitting on the fence on this one. Anthony Cronin said I'd really like Wilson and Ryan Kent to stay, and I think they're going to get pre-season, mate, to show what they can do, especially Wilson. We really need somebody like Neres or Pepe, said Shea Trainer. The links to Neres from anybody have gone quiet. I'd seen Everton linked to him at one point. I'd seen Liverpool linked to him at one point. I'd seen crazy prices being suggested actually from Ajax. Prices ranging from 50 to 80 million. Bobby Duncan moving up to the main squad, said Mark Forrest. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who gets the nod tomorrow actually for the game against Tranmere. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing the young players. It's one of my favourite parts of pre-season, getting to see the players that we don't see that much of at senior level getting an opportunity to go out there and prove themselves. And yeah, it's great. I can't wait till we get back to football. I mean, there's been too much going around in circles here, discussing the same players day in and day out. And tomorrow we've got football, actual football to look forward to. Tom Jones said I'd promote Glatzel to the first team. Yeah, himself and Bobby Duncan definitely banging them in at underage level, no doubt about that. We did speak about Gerald, we did speak about Sturridge's dog earlier on, mate. We started off the stream talking about it. Great news that he was reunited with his little Pomeranian. And you could see it in him. You could see how happy he was. So everybody's delighted for Sturridge that he got his dog back. What else we got? Daniel is a Hodenaland, excuse me if I've mispronounced that, said it would be naive to think that Salah and Mane will stay injury free. We really need an attacker with pace. We've been really lucky past seasons. It could be 70 games. You're preaching to the choir, Daniel, mate. I agree with you. One serious injury to Mane, Salah or Firmino and we are in a whole world of trouble, I think. Even allowing for Origi to come in and even allowing for Brewster to be as good as we hope, it's still a lot of pressure on very unproven shoulders. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree, mate. And I understand some managers want to work with a tight-knit squad. I get that. But if you genuinely want to be up there challenging with the best, fighting for every single trophy every season, then I think you've got to have at least two top quality players in every position. Now, not everybody can compete with the Manchester Cities of this world. Not everybody has those type of budgets, but I think it's also fair to say that we're not short of a bob or two as things stand. Jace said that if I'm wrong on Dominic King / Ward, I'll hold my hands up. Jace, mate, I don't know if you are or not. I'm just saying somebody else commented exactly that underneath Dominic King, and another guy said no, that was Maddock, but I genuinely don't know either way, pal. But point being, things change and journos can adamantly claim one thing and then something else happens and they can simply say things change. And you know what? That is fair. Things do change. It's even... So there's some people who, going back a few years ago, I would have trusted quite implicitly with regards to Liverpool news. Now, even these people have admitted that things have tightened up at times, but some stuff they've said, they've sworn that they've heard it happening, hasn't happened because things change at the last minute. And then maybe it's happened in a later window and they've kind of been proven to be correct, particularly around the Virgil van Dijk situation. And you are right, mate. Things move quickly in football, and just like Fekir, I mean, every single one of us thought that was happening until right up to the last minute. And could you blame the journos from that front? Because they would have probably known, like the rest of us, or even before the rest of us, that we were going after Fekir. But could they have known what the medical was going to show up, if indeed it was the medical that stopped the deal? See no evil, hear no evil, stir crazy. Yes, I love Gene Wilder films, mate. Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor, brilliant comedic actors. What else we got? Watch Pepe, Craig, said Callum. I've been watching the AFCON, mate, and seeing bits and pieces, and not going to lie, not being that impressed. But it's the AFCON, and it's just one tournament, so it's not fair for me to judge him. Somebody who has looked quite bright, actually, has been that Chukwueze guy. Do you remember we were linked to Samuel Chukwueze, the guy from Villarreal? He's looked quite nifty, actually, when I've watched him play. So it's difficult to judge somebody at international level. It's better at club level where, you know, they're playing week in and week out. Good evening, said every day is me. Sorry I haven't been around recently, mate. Never any need to apologise. I understand and completely get people lead really busy lives, and we just thank you for being in with us. Anything on Donny van de Beek, said Jace? Nope, nothing at all, mate. Nothing for us, nothing for any other club that I've seen either. Real Madrid, very tenuous links, but look, every player under the sun's been linked to Real Madrid so far. Cape Town Muslim said, Craig, I agree with Gonads. We can chase the smaller cups after number 19, then we'll go after the Champions League and the Premier League. We kind of did that this year though, mate. We kind of rolled the dice a little bit on that this year now. I suppose I do understand the thought point that we did have Chelsea and Wolves, so it wasn't the easiest draws perhaps in the domestic cups, but we went hell for leather for the Premier League this year and the Champions League, and we got very close to winning both. We won one point away from the other. I want the Premier League, mate, more than anything. I absolutely get you, but I still think I want us to lift trophies, because lifting trophies and winning becomes a habit, and I want our players to be in the habit of going into every season believing they're going to pick up a couple of trophies. Who would I rather, Neres or Ziyech? Neres for me, mate. I'd rather Neres from those two. We need to be greedy. I want all the trophies, said Aidan Andrews. Did you see Chelsea draw with Bowes? Shocking start for them. I didn't see the game, no. It's very difficult though to judge anybody in pre-season games like that, isn't it? I mean, Everton won the pre-season cup in their eyes a while ago when they beat, I don't know what was it, a bunch of fucking Iranian horse whisperers or something. They beat 27-0 or something like that. Yeah, it's difficult to judge anybody. I suppose we'll see how Frank Lampard gets on when the season starts. Not that I'm wishing Chelsea well, by the way. I absolutely hope they fail miserably. I'm looking forward to watching Brewster, said Brendan Smith. I'm with you, pal. I can't wait. And tomorrow, hopefully, fingers crossed, we see him get unleashed tomorrow, and it'd be nice to see him bang one in, wouldn't it? Gonad said, bottom line is we need other Premier League clubs to not roll over for Manchester City, or else they'll get 100 points again. Yes, defo need them to put a bit of a fight back up, and not just sit back and try and defend for 90 minutes and hope that they can nick a 0-0 draw. The dog was handed in unharmed to the LAPD and reunited with his dad. That's not what I'd read. I'd seen a video with Sturridge, and I'd actually seen a report from ABC that said the LAPD had no influence on this. I'm not saying you're wrong, mate. I'm just saying what I've seen today. Sturridge said he drove down to, was it West LA or something like that, at 11:30 last night with himself and a couple of mates, and they were reunited with the dog. That's all I know about it. After that, I haven't got a clue. PH said, Craig, I don't think our bench is good enough to win the league with Lallana, Chamberlain too injury prone. Well, look, it's very difficult for me in good conscience to sit here and make an argument as to why we should be relying on Daniel Sturridge, or not Daniel Sturridge, talk about injuries, I'm talking about Sturridge, on Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Adam Lallana, because they have a history of injuries. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has been unlucky in that he's had some serious injuries that have kept him out for a while, but Lallana in particular does pick up what seems to be a lot of soft tissue injuries or strains or knocks that keep him out, and he's not getting any younger. Now, I know he's worked his ass off in pre-season, and I know he's worked really, really hard to get fit, but I also understand where you're coming from, and it is a gamble. It's a gamble going into every season. In midfield, though, let's look at it this way. We do have, I know they're slightly different positions, but we have Fabinho, we have Henderson, we have Milner, we've got Gini, we've got Lallana, we've got Oxlade-Chamberlain, we've got Shaqiri, although he can play in the front three as well. We've got, I know I'm forgetting somebody here. Who am I forgetting here? Naby Keita, Curtis Jones perhaps to come through as well. So there are options. Midfield is probably the one position where we've got a lot of central midfielders, but it's the attacking flair that we've sometimes lacked from midfield, which I suppose is probably the point you're getting at, because those two players you've mentioned have different facets that make them both helpful from an attacking point of view. Lallana with his clever turns and his passing, and then you've got Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who knows where the fucking goal is and is very direct, pacey and powerful. So I get where you're coming from. There's something that I always say that makes my phone beep, makes it think I'm talking to it, and I can't quite figure out what it is yet. It just mustn't like my accent. What else we got? Or is it Ali Cat said, I hope we get the Brazilian attacker so the Echo can print Liverpool by Everton. Yeah, I was often wondering about the club shop as well. How many people will go in and get the name on the back of the shirt? I love Kent and Wilson. I hope they get some Premier League games, said Honey Bunny. Stephen Richard said, Craig, I even want the Checker Trade trophy as well. I'm greedy. I get that, yeah. And for those that aren't aware, perhaps Liverpool have entered the under-23s in this season's Checker Trade trophy. Themselves and Manchester United this year have agreed to go into it. In previous years, I think maybe last year might have been the first year that clubs had the opportunity to put their under-23s into this tournament. It's a good idea from my point of view, because it gives these guys actual real competitive games against senior pros who, you know, they'll get a good mix. They'll get a bit of rough and tumble, they'll get a bit of quality, but they'll also get to express themselves in games that matters, and that is important. Right, some more little bits and pieces. Liverpool have been linked, and somebody mentioned this before, with Zenit St. Petersburg's attacker Sardar Azmoun, I believe, maybe I've mispronounced, but he's known as the Iranian Messi. And the Iranian Messi. Is there any country that doesn't have a Messi? That doesn't have a something Messi? You get them from every country. And as I said, take that report with a massive pinch of salt as well. But it was something that I'd seen in the news today. A little bit of Irish news. The Belfast Telegraph report that Liverpool are interested in Linfield's 15-year-old sensation Charlie Allen. The report goes on to say that Manchester United, City and lots of other English and Scottish clubs are looking at the very talented young man. Again, I'm not even going to pretend to know anything about this kid. I know that somebody probably mentioned him to me the other night and I forgot about it, so for that I'm sorry if it did come up. Liverpool's under-18s and under-23s were back in pre-season action as well today. The under-18s beat Burton Albion 4-0 in a pre-season game at the Academy, and the under-23s were held to a goalless draw against Crewe in their first pre-season game. A little bit of news on Dejan Lovren. So what have we got here? Have we spoken about the Alderweireld thing? I did. I've already spoken about that, so there's no need for me to go back over it. Sorry, I'm confusing myself here. What else we got? Are any of Salah, Mane, Firmino coming to New York in 2 weeks' time? Mane and Firmino 100% ruled out of the pre-season tour of America. Salah, they're saying, might make some of it, but again, I'm not 100% certain of it, so don't hold me to that one. But the other two are definitely ruled out. I think somebody said they're going to join up in France. David Newell said, Craig, it could be like buses. We wait for ages. A big bus, Pepe, and then three come at once. Pepe, Fekir, Fernandes. Has anybody seen much on the Fernandes thing, actually? I was expecting him to be a United player by now, but it seems like Manchester United are possibly one of the worst in the world at trying to get transfers tied up. I mean, even this kid from Newcastle, they can't get over the line yet. What's his name? Longstaff, is it? I've got a good feeling about Oxlade-Chamberlain this season, said Brendan Smith. Could Harry Wilson play midfield? Possibly, yes, but I think his creative spark, well, in an attacking midfield sense, yes, or maybe in a wide position. John Hamilton, how are you, sir? Dorian said Wijnaldum can play in 9 as well. He was great against Barca in the first leg. Yeah, Genie's one of those rare players that can play probably 6 different positions on a football pitch, and it's one of the things I suppose Klopp almost love about him, is versatility. Same with James Milner, he can play in a load of different positions as well, as can Jordan Henderson, although not as many as the other two. Or maybe I'm doing Hendo a disservice there. He's definitely somebody who can play in a few positions. I hope Salah doesn't play in pre-season. He'll have to play some part, I'm sure, in pre-season to get his match fitness up, or he won't be ready for the start of the season. Probably, what have we got? Thinking about this one. Maybe Napoli at Murrayfield might be realistic for Salah. Then you've got Lyon in Switzerland. I think there's 3 games actually. I checked up today. There's 3 pre-season games before I go on holiday. So I'm going to be able to cover the Tranmere game. I'm going to be able to cover the Borussia Dortmund game. And I believe I'm also going to be able to cover the... What's the other game I'm going to be able to do? The Sevilla game, I think it is. The only ones I'm going to be missing really are the Napoli game and the Sporting Lisbon game. I think I'm away on holidays for those 2. Connor Nibbler, how are you, sir? Welcome in. Fernandes is staying at Sporting, said Callum. But he just did he not say his goodbyes? I know he was back training with them, but didn't he put up a post basically on Instagram saying bye bye at some point? Maybe if we don't make any more transfers this summer, we could reinforce in the January window, since we'll probably be in the Champions League round of 16 and contending for the Premier League. Anything, Arnav, is possible, mate. Don't quote me on this because I could be wrong, but I'm sure I read somewhere before that Kloppo isn't a massive fan of doing stuff in the January window. Now, again, if I'm wrong, I apologise. Which 3 Liverpool players pick in Fantasy League? Oh, mate, I've do you know what I did for my fantasy team? And we do have a fantasy league actually for Anfield Agenda. I must share it as the time gets closer. I just auto picked it, and then I'll go back when the transfers are done before the season starts and go through and do it properly. Don't forget about the competition, guys, that I haven't got the print in front of me here now, but we're giving away, let me just see if I can pull up a picture of it. We're giving away a print of Mohamed Salah with the golden boot. It's an A3 print from an artist called Mark Jenkins. Mark has signed the bottom of these prints as well. Now, I know all paintings are signed, but he's hand signed the bottom of the print as well in pencil. It's beautiful. I did show it on last night's stream, but the stream fucked up because YouTube was acting up, so I don't have the actual prints to hand. It is about 15 feet away from me as we speak. I'm just going to pull through. There we go. It's this one. I'm going to try and hold that up. So that's it there. We're giving away an A3 print of that, which is over there. To be in with a chance to win that print, all you have to do, you can enter in 2 ways. You can be subscribed to the channel on here, which I hope most of you are, and if not, just hit that subscribe button and you'll be entered in. And also go on to Twitter and you'll see our pinned tweet on there. You just need to retweet that and follow the pin or the Twitter account, and you get a second entry. So we're giving that away on July the 21st, so the day before I head off my holidays. We'll be announcing the winner of that one. And as always, we're working on other stuff as well to get some more giveaways and some more goodies to give away to you guys. Unless your name is VVD, then make an exception for January. Pizza or Chinese? Pizza. Always pizza. Oh God, that's my favourite food in the world, mate. Pizza. 100%. How seriously will Klopp take the Community Shield and Super Cup in early August? The honest answer, Arnav, I don't know. I hope he takes the Community Shield less seriously than the Super Cup, because I don't know. I don't know why I hate that Community Shield so much. I just feel like we shouldn't be in it, quite frankly, because we didn't win the FA Cup, nor did we win the league. And I would rather have seen Watford go in and play Manchester City than us. So maybe that's why I have such a disdain for it. But I don't want to lose to Chelsea in the Super Cup, so I do want to win that one. Craig, can you make your own football team and then we can hammer DT's team? No. We're thinking maybe we'll make an esports team at some point. We did speak about this, actually, myself and Connor before. But yeah, I'd be sent off after about 20 seconds in that match there. So no, that won't be happening. Jace Roberts said, concern with doing business in the January window is if you want sufficient quality, the prices are normally higher, plus players might be cup tied in Europe. Did they change the cup tie rule? There's so many different fucking things changed and I can't remember. I remember Arsenal being really pissed off about the Mkhitaryan situation. I know that was a cross thing. He'd already played in, he played in the Champions League and he couldn't play in the Europa or something like that. Have I been to Mazzoni's and Gory? It's really not. Of course I have, mate. I've lived here 8 years and I'm a pizza fiend. So yes, I've eaten out of Domino's, I've eaten out of Mazzoni's, I've eaten out of Apache Pizza, I've eaten out of the takeaways that sell pizza. Although to be honest, I haven't had a takeaway in, I'm on a diet, so I haven't had a takeaway in about 2 months probably. I've been very good, you know. I've lost about 16 pounds so far. A long way to go, but I've been quite good. I'm trying to get as much down as I can before the holidays. You forgot the Bradford game 3 days after Tranmere. Yes, I did, Callum, and I'll be around for that one as well. And we should be doing a watch along of that. That's on Sunday, isn't it? The Bradford game. I think it's Sunday 3 o'clock kickoff, or it's a 5 o'clock. One or the other. But either way, we'll be doing a watch along of that game as well. Where can we watch the friendly tomorrow? On LFC TV, or of course you can tune in here and after the watch along, mate. And I hope that you do. What do you think, or who do you think will win the Ballon d'Or this year, and who do you think deserves it? I think VVD is the answer to both for me, Riley. Alisson should be in the conversation. Messi will be in the conversation. Bernardo Silva, I think, has had an excellent year for Manchester City as well. But I honestly, hand on heart, bias aside, I feel that Virgil van Dijk. I think the bookies have him as favourite as well. Stephen Richard said, Craig, I think VAR is going to cause murder this season. It's going to be interesting, Stephen, mate. It is. It's going to be interesting. There's going to be some fuck-ups along the way. And what I find funny is the opposition fans that think VAR is going to fuck us over. It's like they haven't looked into it and seen the research that shows that Liverpool will be, I think, 12 points better off. Maybe not last season or the season before if VAR had been in use. I mean, we've been hard done by decisions on VAR at time, or no decisions on VAR, I should say, at times. So yeah, look, it'll be interesting to see. And somebody made a really good point on last night that it might actually help out the, should I say, smaller teams, if that's the right phrase. Teams like Cardiff, maybe like last year, who felt they were hard done by and ended up getting relegated. So maybe it will even things out a little bit, but it's still subjective to a degree, which is what pisses a lot of people off about it. You know, you've still got handball decisions and things like that are still down to the referee's interpretation. What's my favourite pizza topping? Honestly, I'm a boring bastard, mate. I just mainly eat margaritas. If I'm feeling really, really, really posh and really, really, really adventurous, I'll have ham, but that's about it. I am the most dull, boring, plain eater of food. Clearly, I eat too much of what I like, but yeah, I'm a really boring eater. What else we got? VAR in great decisions. 5 dream players you'd love to see in a Liverpool shirt. Mbappe. Are we talking like ones that are still playing football now? I'll go with that. Mbappe. It's very difficult to pick 5 players that are better than what we have at the club, by the way. So Mbappe, Marco Verratti, wouldn't change our centre backs. I mean Gomez or Van Dijk. Wouldn't change our full backs. Wouldn't change our goalkeeper. God, this is very difficult to pick from, isn't it? Messi, I think, is getting on an age, so I wouldn't have him. Wouldn't have Ronaldo. God, it's so difficult to pick players that I think could come in and improve. Bernardo Silva, actually, I wouldn't mind him. I wouldn't mind pace as well, so maybe Leroy Sané. But I've had pace with Mbappe. It's very difficult to pick 5. Honestly, I just don't see 5 glaring weaknesses in our team. Craig, one thing you'd like to see more of next season for Liverpool? My normal answer to that would have been shithousery. But I think with Milner and that, we've seen a little bit of that and better game management from us last season. More thing I'd like to see from Liverpool this season. I think maybe starting quicker in games. I remember when Jurgen Klopp first came in, we used to come out of the traps 100 miles an hour, and now I don't know if it's maturity, I don't know if whatever it is, we seem to be starting off a little bit slower and then having a period in the game where we step it up, put our foot in the gas and blow teams away. I wouldn't mind seeing a few fast starts. Other than that, what else can I see? Some better set pieces, actually. I know we've been decent from corners, but some better, more inventive free kicks, perhaps. What else we got? Chicken cheeseburger pizza. That just sounds all kinds of wrong. Okay, what else have we got? Loads of fucking pizza talk here, by the way. Loads of conversation about pizza going on. Callum said counter attacks he'd like to see more of. VVD for the Ballon d'Or said yes, sir. Who do you think is the most promising future star in the academy behind Brewster? I suppose You tend to probably say something like Bobby Duncan, Glatzel, because they're goal scorers and goal scoring is sexy, but I really like the look of Keanu Hoover. I really, really do. Everything I've seen of the kid, he looks very polished. I don't know anything about Sepp Vandenberg yet because I haven't seen any of them to make a decision. We spoke about Adam Lewis before. He looks very good as well. Curtis Jones. I'd say Keanu Hoover probably for me is the one that I would think we will see definitely in the first team playing more in the next couple of seasons. How do you think City's backline will be without Malahed? They're going to struggle. I spoke about this before, Brett. It's okay, you can say that maybe Vincent Kompany didn't play that many games, but he's the club captain. He's have a massive influence around the training ground on match days, and you can't undervalue the influence that he would have had there. So I think it is going to be difficult for them. That and a few other things, mainly the FFP stuff that's going to be thrown at them, and the potential ban and all the newspaper headlines and media scrutiny and all the stuff that's going to go along with that this season for Manchester City. I'm hoping will derail them a little bit and we can nip in there and win the Premier League. Beef and onion pizzas, chicken tikka pizzas. God, you're a pizza mad tonight. Is Brewster going to get his chance this year? Yes, definitely. We'll get chances this year, definitely. I mean, there's been some articles that have said the reason we didn't go and sign Timo Werner was because Jurgen Klopp doesn't want to block the way through for Ian Brewster. That's how highly he rates the kid. Spoke about him very highly as well recently since he's come back from pre-season. Curtis Jones is a decent youngster and could play in the centre or the wing. Looks like a very Klopp type player, so Dublin's finest. He's the player of the young players that most impressed me last pre-season, mate. I thought he was the standout young player. Nat Phillips was quite good as well, but for me, Curtis Jones just looked like he could mix it at that level. Look who's back. Oh, I think I know who you're talking about, Brian. If we could only pick 3 cups this season, I'd say Premier League, Champions League and the Club World Cup, as we've never won it. What do you think? If we're only having 3, John, then yeah, I'd take those 3 as well. I'd agree with you 100%. Riley Jenkins said, can you believe some people think Ronaldo deserves to win the Ballon d'Or? I think there are some groups of fans, mate, that never ever ever think that Ronaldo or Messi does anything wrong and they think that they deserve to win the Ballon d'Or every single year. They don't. They're 2 absolutely outstanding footballers that it's been a privilege for us to get to watch, but neither of them this year have had a standout year where you could go, yep, definitely one of those 2. Other years they've been head and shoulders above and it's been very easy to say one of these 2, but I think this season, with the performance we've had, with the defensive solidity under Van Dijk and Alisson as well, I think it's only fair that Van Dijk's probably the bookie's favourite. Jace Roberts said, what I want to see more of this season is the real Naby Keita. Yes, sir. That's a really good point. Desperate for him to get a run of injury-free games and show what he can really do. Yeah, when you're right, Jace. I suppose there was a whole myriad of reasons why perhaps we didn't see the real Naby Keita last year. A lot of it down to injuries and a bit of a stop-start season. You can't underplay as well, settling into a new country, learning a new language, a different food, different culture, different teammates, different area. So many things, simple things like perhaps driving to work every day and just getting used to the route. I know we've got sat navs, by the way, but yeah, there's so many different bits and pieces that go into a player settling. So yeah, it's a good show. And just imagine, like, that's what it's easy for us to sit here and say, oh, we want this, this, and this. But as we've said, if Naby steps up and gets injury free, bang, what an extra player he's going to be. If Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain can stay injury free, we could be brilliant. We could have brilliant cover there as well from an attacking midfield or a cover for the front 3. But I still have to say, hand on heart, I think we need to sign someone. I'm not going to whinge and moan and cry if we don't, and I'm willing to wait and see what happens until the window closes before I make any definitive comments on anything, which is why when people have said we're going to sign him, we're not going to sign him, I've always kind of said I genuinely don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I've never claimed to know, nor will I. All I'll give is my opinion. I'll listen to your opinions and hopefully eventually we'll know what the fuck is going on and we can all sit back and take stock of what happened in the transfer window. Who do I think will start tomorrow? I honestly haven't given it a second's thought, mate. Other than Mignolet, probably. I haven't got a clue. Which makes it all the more interesting, though. Brommy Boy said, Glatzel is a Scouser born in Liverpool but with German parents. Looks like one to be a role model. Yeah, him and Bobby Duncan, as I said earlier on, banging goals in for fun this season for the underage. I mean, yeah, two absolutely quality young players. Messi's been outstanding in La Liga this season. Even in the Champions League semis, he scored a screamer. Has he been outstanding though? Really, Morton? Has he? I mean, has he? I don't think he's the same Lionel Messi. He's had to reinvent himself. They won the Liga, yeah. They didn't win the Spanish Cup. They didn't win the Champions League. And he scored a screamer. Fair enough, I get that. Fucker pinched 10 yards for that free kick, by the way. But no denying it was an absolute worldie. But he also shit his pants in the second leg, mate, and succumbed to the cauldron that was Anfield. Whereas Van Dijk stepped up. And stepped up in the final. And look, I love Messi. I'm a huge fan of Lionel Messi. I absolutely think he's the greatest player of our generation. I've enjoyed watching him. But my honest opinion is this year he hasn't been the best player in the world. And that's just my opinion. But my opinion doesn't matter. I'm not voting for the Ballon d'Or. Football awards are biased. Always stats favour attackers, said Aidan Andrews. Salah will break the record with 36 Premier League goals this season. Actually, there's a book I wanted to recommend to you guys. You probably heard me speaking before about Paul Tompkins and how I think Paul Tompkins is almost like he's my, what I would consider a font of knowledge of all things Liverpool related. You might be aware of Paul Tompkins from the Tompkins Times, which is his site that he writes Liverpool articles on. He's released a new book actually called Mentality Monsters. And that's available on Amazon, on Kindle, and I think on probably other places, but on Amazon certainly. I would highly recommend reading this. This book talks about our season. It talks about the way we go about our transfers. It explains it in great detail. If you're on Twitter, search out Paul Tompkins, because every Friday he puts out what he calls Free Friday, and he puts out a free article. And the latest article was based around our transfer business and why we do certain things and the way the club look at doing transfers. He explained it better than I ever could, which is why I keep pointing you in his direction. But do check it out. Even just that article, it's completely free. Tompkins Times, Free Friday. If you're on Twitter, search on there. If not, go on to the Tompkins Times website. But if you're a Liverpool fan like me that likes reading about the club, I couldn't recommend an author to you more highly than Paul Tompkins. He's my favourite writer of all things Liverpool, hands down. I love Brian Reid as well, but for me, I just love Paul Tompkins. He's his mind. I'd love to get inside his mind and just see the way his analytical brain thinks. He's a very special man when it comes to Liverpool Football Club. What else we got? I haven't had tapioca pudding in years. I've never had it. Marcus says, hello everybody from Sweden. Does anybody know how it's going with Pepe? Varying reports, mate. Liverpool-based journalists or the English-based journalists say no interest whatsoever. French-based journalists and I suppose other continental-based journalists have said Liverpool definitely do have an interest. But as things stand, it's kind of just wait and see what happens. What else have we got? Right, about 10 minutes left on tonight's stream, ladies and gentlemen. So if you've anything to ask or anything you want to chat about, please do put it in. We're only 54 subscribers away from 18,000 subscribers. So if you are enjoying it and you haven't subscribed, you know what to do. Please do hit that button. And don't forget, by hitting that button, you go into the competition as well to win that beautiful print, an A3 signed print from Mark Jenkins, who is a very talented Liverpool artist. Right, what else have we got? If VVD had won the Nations League, also if Argentina had won the Copa America, they'd be competition for our competitors for Alisson. Don't get me, Alisson's had a great season and Alisson deserves to be in the conversation. Personally, I just don't think he will win it, but am I going to be disappointed if he does? No, of course not. Any Liverpool player that wins it for me is sound. But I just think from what I've seen with the bookies and that, at the moment they seem to have Van Dijk down as the favourite, and he's had one hell of a season. Craig Adams said, scary thought that Trent Alexander-Arnold is still improving. Look at our Premiership and Europe. Yeah, that kid is scarily good. Scarily good. And is only going to keep getting better. Craig, the Alamo-based journalist, say no more signings. I don't know who to believe at this rate, Stephen, which is why I'm just sitting on the fence completely, mate, and just waiting and seeing what happens. Breaking news, B. Cox signs new contract. Well, we spoke about that a while ago, mate. It is very, very good news, and it's news that we were expecting. And just for those of you that are coming in later as well, I just want to let you guys know about something that I said at the start of the stream. We started a new segment that's called the Bite-Sized Agenda. And what that is every night before this stream starts, I'm going to pre-record a 10 or 12 minute video that will basically be a synopsis of what we're going to talk about on the stream. It'll basically be a bulletin points of all the news stories that have gone on around Liverpool that day. I don't put it out until after the stream because I don't want to ruin the stream, and I want to get people in because we love the interaction of the stream, and I don't want to take away from that. But I'm also aware, and Connor's aware, that people don't have an hour and 45 minutes at times to watch these streams, and they want shorter content. So the reason we're doing it is to try and tick both boxes for people, but we don't want to take away from the live stream, which is why we're not putting it out until after the live streams finish every night. So if there is something perhaps that breaks during a live stream, then you'll get that on the live stream and it won't be on the video. But it is something we're doing to try and get a little bit of shorter content out there for people as well, because we appreciate you guys and we appreciate your time, and we know that people are busy, and that sometimes you know, a lot of the time people wouldn't have an hour and 40 minutes to sit through one of these streams. I love your Champions League trophy. I bought a medal from eBay yesterday. Oh, you mean this? This Champions League trophy? This one right here? Like this Champions League trophy? Hello, Sixie. This Champions League trophy right here. The one that will be sleeping beside me in bed tonight. This one. Yes, you are beautiful. My pretty. You are beautiful. Don't worry, we'll be together again soon. Yeah, for those of you that were wondering as well, J&S Trophies are the company that I got that from. They're on Twitter, they're on Facebook, they are on Instagram, and this is tremendous quality, so do check them out if you're interested. Love the content, Craig, said Mark Forrest. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Honestly, I still pinch myself that the channel has as many subscribers as we do. Not trying to push you guys away or anything, but yeah, we're entirely grateful for it. There's a lot of good content out there, and you guys have a lot of choices, so to come in and watch us every evening, we really appreciate it. What else have we got? Kay Hannah said, hope so. Callum, I'm predicting Salah to have another banging season like his first one, said V for Vegdetta. I hope Trent stays for the long haul. Surely big money will be offered in the near future. Look, I think he'll be the club captain at some point in his career. It's fucking brilliant. I love having him here. I think he'll be beside you on the sofa now, Craig, said John Hamilton. Could well be the case, John, mate. I'm not going to lie. But even so, I'll still be waking up in the middle of the night and just lifting it above my head just for the laugh. How many times? This many times. If you seen, did you guys see the John Oliver video today? He was doing a bit of promo for Liverpool for the pre-season tour of America, and he said that we used to have a handful and now we have this many. John Oliver, obviously a massive Liverpool fan as well. What else have we got? Next year 7, said Callum. I hope so, pal. I really hope so. Although 19 would be nice as well, wouldn't it? 19's a rather nice number. Where was the number 6 one? It was, of course, in the Wanda Metropolitano Stadium in the wonderful city of Madrid, Callum. And hopefully number 7 could take place back where number 5 was won in the Ataturk Stadium in Istanbul, which is where, of course, this season's Champions League final takes place. I saw that John Oliver video. I love Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. It's one of my favourite TV shows, actually. I think he's very funny. And the fact that he's a Liverpool fan just, helps. Don't forget to do the Henderson dance when you lift up 60. Full disclosure, Stephen, I tried it earlier on a few times and looked like a fucking tit, mate. I'm just so glad nobody recorded it. It looked like somebody who badly needed a piss. That's what it looked like, an old, bald, overweight man who badly needed a piss. Yeah, it didn't look anywhere near as cool as Hendo. Why is Lampard out trending on Twitter? It has to be just opposition fans taking the piss because they drew Bohemians or something tonight. It has to be. It couldn't be Chelsea fans already. Surely to God. That is mad. Twitter can be a strange old place at times. I love it and I hate it at the same time. I love it because it gives you interaction with people around the world, but it can be a little bit toxic from time to time as well. And now, of course, I have the Britney Spears song in my head again, but I promise, like the last time, I won't sing it. Craig, you like Gollum with my precious and Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it's I'm hopefully I can save up and get the full size version at some point, just so I can definitely be told I'm sleeping on the sofa. I wouldn't mind the full size version as well. Right, I think, look, ladies and gents, I think that's pretty much where we are tonight. I can't remember if there's anything else I've forgotten to talk about or any other bits and pieces. Just a reminder that we will be back for the watch along tomorrow night. 7:15 or so, we'll be starting for that one. So I hope you can join us. Liverpool's first pre-season game. Thank fucking God we're back talking about football. So look, I hope you can join us for that one. We'll probably do a stream after that as well. We'll probably do a little bit of a debrief and have a chat about that. Don't think there'll be a bite-sized agenda tomorrow because we won't have time going from the stream straight through as well. So look, I hope you can join us for that one about 7:15 tomorrow. As always, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you head off. I thank you all very, very much for your time tonight. As always, it's been a pleasure catching up with you. We'll chat to you tomorrow. Enjoy your Thursday. Take care of your families. Tell your loved ones that you love them. And up the motherfucking Reds. And Sixty says good night as well. Good night, ladies and gents. Lots of love to you.